Hey, everybody. Good morning. It's Friday. Get a cup of coffee. Let's do this thing, right? Have you ever had this experience where you are like hearing somebody talk about their story and it occurs to you like, this person is like my brother from another mother or my sister from another mister because they are like speaking my life to me right now. Have you ever had that experience? It's a really, really wonderful experience. And you don't always get it. I get that. But I think that I've heard that experience in various ways from various people across my lifetime. And I've experienced it myself. It is really awe-inspiring to be sitting across from somebody over coffee or whatever it may be, hearing them tell the story about themselves and knowing that that story is about you too. Right? Like it just like you feel a connection in a way that is like no other. And I'm telling you, the person telling the story does not have to be somebody you know necessarily. I mean, you could be, sitting at a basketball game with moms and dads, of kids your kids' age, and you start talking and getting to know each other because you got to sit in the stands the whole season. And they start telling you, oh, yeah, this is what I've experienced with us. And man, it was harrowing. It was really tough. And here's what I did. And all of a sudden, you're like, other people have that experience? What? It's like you're speaking my language. You're speaking what I know to be true. Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Natalie Marr, and here on Learn to Love Your Story, of course I love story. I love story so much that I have put it into the title of my blog and vlogs. I have put it into the title of my personal development course. I know that the power of story is a palpable thing. And one of the ways that it shows up is in that real just innocuous way. You're just sitting there across from somebody and hearing them talk, and all of a sudden you're like, do you know me? Are you my sister from another mister? What the heck? Like how are you speaking my truth so well? That is just one of the ways that it shows up. And I got the chance to have that experience this week. So I just thought I'd share a little bit this morning with you. I saw that a friend of mine from high school, of all things, and that was a hot minute ago, apparently. I saw a friend of mine was in town, and I still live in the same hometown area where I went to school. This person does not. Saw that they were in town, asked them out to dinner, got my shot, can wear my mask, restaurants are open, super excited. So I met up with this person. And, I think conservatively, we haven't seen each other. I know since my daughter was born, she's 6. So can we talk about it? It's been a while since I had seen this person. And you know how these conversations go, right? Like, oh my gosh, it's like you start talking and you can't even stop. You just are like on a fever pitch pace because you want them to hear all the stuff that has happened in the last 6-7 years that you haven't since you've seen them. And I started telling my story. And in the last 6 or 7 years, I've had a pretty difficult one. I've had some high highs, but I've had some low lows, people. And in starting to talk about this, what I noticed was that this person was really leaning in. They were really hearing something. And all of a sudden, this person who I haven't seen in years, we were close when we were kiddos, but again, like I think I've passed my 25th high school anniversary at this point, which is really sad and dates me quite a bit. So it's been a minute since she and I have been really close. This was just a dinner when we hadn't even seen each other in 6 years. And I could see that things that I was saying were resonating for her. And I could feel it before she started to tell me her story and before she started to share this experience that she's been having in the recent years, and how helpful it was for her to sit with someone and hear her story from a different angle and a different place. I mean, certainly where I'm at with my story is I'm back to a high. I'm loving life right now. And she's not quite yet, at least not in that respect. And so I really want to emphasize how important it is for us to listen to stories and for us to tell our stories, because neither of us could have gotten this experience that we had this week without being both open to hearing that someone else has heard and seen and felt the things we've heard and seen and felt. Or if I hadn't had the audacity to just be like, blah, 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 here's all my stuff, why don't you just listen to me? I know you all know me, so you know that I'm not afraid to do that. But there are people that are afraid to do that, and that's sad to me, because I think story has a powerful place in our life. Story has a way of creating connection without all the formalities of getting to know somebody and making sure you can trust them and all of those things. It's like it's all wrapped up in one conversation. You guys, this person flew back home. This was one evening. It was maybe 4 hours max that we were together front to back. And I think that's really actually stretching it. So if that's the case, and someone could be heard and someone could be seen and someone could be understood in that small period of time, something's magical about that. And what's magical about that is our stories. What's magical is that your story is my story and my story is your story in so many ways. Not in all the ways. Everybody is having a unique experience on this ball hurling through the universe or wrapping itself around the sun every 365, right? It is not everybody's story is exactly the same. So don't hear me say that. It's that the power of story really can help people feel understood and seen and heard in a way that just talking and getting to know somebody doesn't do for them, you know? And I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, where are my opportunities to tell my story? Where are my opportunities to hear someone else's? Am I giving them that opportunity? How about this? Sit on this one for a little sec, guys. So now that I've aged myself enough, and it's not like I haven't talked about my kids. I have a kid that's heading into senior year in high school, and we're looking at colleges, and it is like some sort of paranormal experience, people, to take your child to the college that you went to school at and be like, what? How is this happening right now? How is this happening right now? It's happening. So in doing that, it has really occurred to me that, we're struggling with where to go to school, when to go to school, if to do that right after high school, or do we do community college and get some money in the bank first? What is it that we want to do here, right? And this poor child, I mean, can we talk about the fact that you have a mom that has like 4 jobs and is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and his dad isn't a lot slower than that? This poor kiddo, like he's drinking from the fire hose on both sides and has no idea what to do with his life. And I'm here thinking, you don't need to know you're 17, dude. Like, you don't need to know what to do with your life. And I'm trying to explain it in all of these really logical ways. And it occurred to me, why don't you talk to him about your story? Why don't you have him talk to his dad about his story? Why don't you have him talk to some other safe adults in his life about their stories? Because did any of us know what the hell we were doing? Hard pass. None of us did. None of us did. Some of us had ideas about it. Some of us really came out of high school thinking, hey, I know I got my stuff together. This is what I'm going to do. But none of us really knew what we were doing. Really? Did we? So another place that you can do this is in your parenting, especially your parenting with your teens. And I know that's a tough one, because I'm asking you to be really vulnerable with these people that you're not really so sure you like all the decisions that they're making at any given moment. So I feel you on that. And I know the power of story. I know the power of a story to connect to people who live on other sides of the United States for a 4-hour dinner that happened with me, this week. I know that this child who's lived with me all of his life hasn't seen me in this way. He doesn't think that he's heard and seen and understood as being, I don't know, Mom, I don't know what to do, until I give him the gift of a story that really exemplifies that, right? This is the power of our stories, people. And this is what I'm talking about. I really, really want for you to think about how can I create feeling heard and seen? And how can I create for other people hearing and seeing who they are? Because it can totally happen. And all it really takes is a cup of coffee, some sort of drink, some sort of little seat, sitting down and having a conversation. And that's it. That is all it takes. And I promise you, you will thank yourself. You will be in a better place because you will have felt like you were heard and seen. And there is really nothing more that we want in this world than to connect with other people. And story is just one of the most beautiful ways for that to be done. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next week.